Look, I look like I have a bowl cut.
A little bit. Just have straight hair! Hi there, my name's Olivia, and this is MonkeKitchen, and today I have my very first guest. I'm sorry. Are you okay?
You literally missed it.
When you said thank you into a friend. This is my friend Emma. Say hi, Emma.
Hello.
So here we are. We got all of our ingredients laid out. This is what we're cooking today. These are her biscuit recipes. She's very generous on letting us use this recipe, and they're supposedly really, really good. Okay, so let's show you the ingredients here. We have all of our dry ingredients as well as all 5 of the weird white powders that we have to put in there.
Don't mix them up.
We memorized them based on the order. So if you mix them up, we have no hope. Let's put everything in this bowl then. I asked Emma to bring a bowl because I don't actually own a large cooking bowl, so thank you to her for bringing this. So before we actually start adding things in the bowl, the recipe says to add the soda, the baking soda, into the milk. Okay, but we actually made our own sour milk or buttermilk with putting a tablespoon of lemon juice into a cup of milk. One of my friends who also cooks told me not to buy buttermilk but to make our own, so that's what we did. So first we'll put that in here.
You know, you could just dump it and see what happens.
You could explode.
And stir aggressively.
Oh, maybe not that aggressively. Now we're gonna put all the dry ingredients together. Alright, Emma, why don't you tell us a little bit about this recipe and why it means so much to you?
So this recipe our mom used to make. We would turn to cinnamon rolls, make biscuits. We made them all the time, but it was one of the things that me and all my siblings made together when we were kids. So it just holds some really good memories. It's one of those I had to have the recipe for.
Especially keeping all of those family recipes.
In the family.
Yeah.
Cut up the butter in chunks, put it in here, and then blend it with the pastry cutter.
Okay.
I have the nightmare in your dreams. I'll force you to eat butter.
That's a horrible nightmare. Okay, make it appear with the magic wand. Boop. So she got this specifically so we could do this, because I did not own
This is a pastry cutter.
You'll learn this about me. I do not own many kitchen things.
It's okay. I'm giving it to her to keep.
Now I can make biscuits again, which is awesome. Chunk by chunk. And then are we smushing it?
Yep. And
All right, if you say so. So Emma, tell me a little bit about your relationship with food has looked like in the past. Obviously, we talked a lot on here about like depression and all that sort of stuff. So go ahead and tell me a little bit about that.
I love food. I'm a foodie. I make a lot of food. I cook a lot of food. I didn't have a super good relationship with food, and when I got super depressed and everything, I actually stopped eating unconsciously. I lost a bunch of weight, and once I realized I had to pay more attention to the things that I was eating and how much I was eating. And you also want it to be something you enjoy, you know, not just forcing food down your throat.
Yeah.
How anxiety can either make you nauseous and not want to eat, can make you eat too much, things like depression that make you not hungry. I think it's important to like pay attention to your eating habits and just to heal your relationship with food a little bit.
Right.
I know in my childhood we were kind of limited in it was an ingredients kitchen, where you made things and you know very health based, so a lot of foods that I was restricted to eat created some anxiety around food. So over the years, healing my relationship with food, not limiting myself as much.
What's one of the biggest things that you've done to start healing your relationship with food?
Making new things, finding foods that I enjoy to eat, and then learning how to make the food. I like to feed people as well. Yeah. So I make food. Olivia knows whenever she comes over. Food just makes me happy. Finding the happiness in the food is important. And not like getting anxious about particular different types of foods or ingredients.
I know some people are super specific on, oh, this has to be organic, or oh, this has to be keto, or whatever. It's good to be healthy, but it's also good to remember that you've actually got to be eating food to be eating healthy. You have to be eating the right amount of calories. Oh, these people aren't eating enough calories. They'll be eating like a giant bowl of strawberries and they'll be like, this is so healthy, oh my gosh, but they actually probably are damaging their relationship with food because they're not eating enough protein and enough all the other things that they need in order to actually live healthy. Yeah.
Correct. I have a very active job. I lift heavy boxes. I thought I was eating enough, like this for lunch, then making myself dinner, and it was not, actually wasn't enough at all. And I started getting very exhausted and tired, and
I think it's about the consistency of cornmeal now.
Mixing the egg into the buttermilk.
That's that.
Put this into the dry ingredients
Alright.
and mix with the fork.
Cool. Okay, let's do that.
Very quickly.
Oh, okay. So maybe it'll explode. Quick, 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 quick. Stir, 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 stir.
Weapon of choice selected. Put some flour down so the dough doesn't stick.
So what would you say to somebody who's currently struggling with depression and not being able to eat?
I'd say one, find the foods that you like to eat. And to just pay attention to your habits. I know it's hard to fall into depression non-eating and not notice. Even if it's just robotic movements and you've stocked your freezer with certain frozen foods. Just make sure you're eating a certain amount at each meal.
Kind of like a sim character. Some people like to think of taking care of themselves as a sim. You have to eat at a certain time of the day. Otherwise you'll forget, and then it'll just slip through the cracks, especially if you're focusing so much on getting out of the emotional state that you're in. It's kind of hard to focus on food.
Well, sometimes you know you're in that emotional state, and sometimes you don't. It creeps up on you, and you don't realize it's happening until you wake up in your environment, and you're like, what just happened? How about you, Olivia? How's your relationship with food?
Oh, I have a horrible relationship with food. That's why I'm doing a cooking show on mental health.
You just auto-moving?
I don't know, I just made a little circle.
We are gonna roll this out with the rolling pin.
Oh.
You might put some flour on top of the lump. 3/4 of an inch fit.
We
Did you want to
knead it
keep
a
that
little bit.
biscuit? You want to mush it in?
Yeah. In MonkeKitchen, we let go.
So you said that. I didn't know that MonkeKitchen was the name. I think it's fun.
I kind of thought, because I was born in the year of the monkey, so, my dad used to always call me Monkey. I would just eat the dough on its own.
I
Me
think
too.
sometimes it's better than the actual
I think
thing.
you're right. Mine is really cute. I got it from a friend of mine.
Made this very unsafe, sharp can biscuit cutter. Do not follow my example. This is just a tin can that I chopped.
How did you cut it?
I have a very bad can opener. I had to clamp it and cut it open, and then I use scissors.
Well,
So-
thank you for your sacrifice. It will be worth it. They will look so beautiful.
How long I have tried to teach her cooking things, and how long she has said no. To have her have another recipe in her repertoire to actually eat. You've made the weirdest combinations, and I'm like, that's not edible. And you're like, it's food. I think this is universal that everybody eats the dough batter and they eat the cake batter and the cookie batter. You can't say that's any different.
The other day I was drinking cranberry soda that someone gave me. I was eating cereal and I just decided to mix them. After the last few bites were hard to swallow. But I got it. It's like my grandfather says, it all goes to the same place anyway.
The next step is to bake at 450 for 12 to 15 minutes. What are you doing?
Nothing.
When you open the oven, you let the heat gust of wind
Before you burn your eyelashes off.
down and burn your face.
And now, a short intermission. It's biscuit time.
Gotcha.
This is a whole new world. You've been up on my counters before. Don't pretend with me. Isn't this cool? It protects you, And you can go pwah, pwah, and nothing will hit you. No heat. It will be protected. Yeah.
I'm the type of person to pull things out of the oven without oven mitts.
No. You must be protected this time. Extra protection. All right. Look at that. Look at those biscuits. This is
butter?
all the honey I have.
You have butter?
All the honey I have. I do have butter. Butter dish.
Let me see, my butter's not in my butter dish. I have a butter dish and it just there's no butter in it.
Oh, why?
I had butter mold in it once. And I don't trust it from then on. I didn't know butter could mold.
Ew, that's gross. They smell so good. They smell like pancakes, like buttermilk pancakes. That's what they do. Look at that. So much steam. I'm actually kind of scared now. They're like biscuits from underneath the world.
Crummy thin biscuits.
They are. They are, you're right.
I suggest eating these with butter and honey.
Okay, let's try your magical grandmother's biscuits.
The magic biscuits.
Aww.
Mm-hmm.
That's really yummy. This is like the only kind of biscuit I would ever eat ever.
The inside's very melty. You know, yeast biscuits, like they pull apart like a normal bread. These are very crumbly and soft in the middle.
But they're like a yummy crumbly, like they're not dry. What kind of things bring you joy?
Music, piano, going out and just being in the moment in something, cooking, food. I love food.
What do you do to help you stay in the moment when you're doing things?
Living for that day and not, I'm doing this day for future days, I'm doing this day for whatever. I think it's easy to not just sit in the moment and be like, today is today, and today are the seconds, and today is these minutes in this time.
Give them a round of applause. Yes. Alright, beautiful people. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye. Don't stare at me like that. Maybe I should just step into the frame. No, okay, turn around, turn backwards.